Nomusa Dube-Ncube is the premier-elect of the province, and the leadership, Karinda Jagmohan, is Newzroom Afrika's reporter who's been monitoring developments at that press briefing. And Karinda, the leadership there going through great pains, I guess, just focusing the first few minutes of that briefing, explaining that Sihle Zikalala was not pushed out. In fact, there's no acrimony between them and him.
Indeed, that is what the top 5 here of the ANC and KZN has been saying. The narrative is that they say they've not pushed out the now outgoing Premier, Sihle Zikalala, but instead it was a decision he took to step down. Earlier last week, we heard Zikalala saying that he had been stepping down because of the narrative against him that he had betrayed former President Jacob Zuma. Remember, KwaZulu-Natal for the ANC is still a stronghold for the so-called Zuma faction. This is where much of the support base for the former president lies in. And many of the factions we see currently in many areas of the ANC, for example, here in KwaZulu-Natal or nationally, we see there are 2 major camps that is described as the Ramaphosa camp and the Zuma camp. But take a listen to what Begum Tolo, who is the ANC KZN secretary, had to say about issues surrounding the outgoing premier.
We understand that the citizens of this province have been patiently waiting for this important announcement following the untimely resignation of our Premier, Comrade Sihle Zikalala, on Friday. It is correct to give context on the occurrence of the past week so as to assuage the perception created by some sectors of our communities, media and armchair critics. From the onset, it is imperative that we give clarity on the decision by our Comrade Sihle Zikalala that he was never pushed to resign, but made an offer to us as the leadership, which we firstly declined. However, he made much persuasion which compelled this leadership to accede to his decision as our senior and the cadre of our movement. As much as we disagreed with his offer to resign as the Premier, we felt that it is important that we considered his decision and we respected it, and eventually we agreed that he resigned. We can assure the people of our beautiful province that there is no acrimony as a result of his resignation. As for the movement, we still have a lot of responsibilities that need his experience as the leader to serve our people, and he has agreed to work with us in the provincial government. We are revolutionaries, and there is nothing we know except the ANC.
Indeed, so that is Begum Tolo just closing off remarks about now outgoing Premier Sihle Zikalala. But of course, for the party going forward, they have a new Premier nominee, their candidate for this position. That is the first female candidate, Nomusa Dube-Ncube. She was the Speaker of the eThekwini Metro before being positioned as the Ambassador for South Africa in the Czech Republic. Following that, she had been in the position of the COCTA Department, the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Department, as the MEC there for 10 years before being assigned to the MEC position for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, and her current position is now MEC for Finance in the province. She's been in the legislature since 2009, so quite an experienced politician at that. But again, like we just heard another analyst speak on this, it is a matter of essentially a face for the party in the KwaZulu-Natal legislature for the ANC. She has spoken about various issues she would like to touch on, but the main pointer we heard from the new chairperson, Siboniso Duma, is that essentially Dube-Ncube, the premier candidate, will have to follow through with the current ANC policies that are in place. In fact, she spoke about the interview she had regarding this position. She said it was over an hour-long interview that revolved around discussion around current ANC policies, including addressing unemployment. Here in KwaZulu-Natal, that is a major issue, especially because of the past 3 years since the COVID-19 pandemic and the tragedies that has happened since then. Unemployment is at an all-time high, and as well as crime across the province. So it was, of course, important for that to be placed high on the list. But we also see here another a member of the top 6, saying it is important at this time to have a woman in this position going forward. So indeed, in that regard, it is quite a good news for the province to see a woman at the helm of leadership at KZN government.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much for that update.